Hi, hello. I'm actually making this live available to more than just my patrons this one time around. Normally, I reserve my new moon and full moon posts for the Patreon. But because this new moon in Taurus is so important and so intense, I just wanted to open this up. There are some energies that you just, don't want to gatekeep around, and this is definitely one of them. So, if you're new here, hi, hello. My name is Nimue. I am a professional psychic intuitive and spirit medium and channel. We're going to look into what the energy of this new moon might mean for you moving forward into the next 2 weeks. Like I woke up this morning physically feeling this new moon. It is forming a T square with Pluto and Mars, which are currently in direct opposition with one another. And T squares are like creates an energy of just tension and friction and intensity, especially because you have Mars and Pluto involved, which are two of the more intense celestial bodies in our sky. When they're in a tug of war with each other, especially, that's a whole lot to do with like power structures, how you relate to those power structures, both internally and externally. When you have the sun and the moon together, we're talking about how our needs and wants, our emotional body and our physical body, our 3D body, our 3D activities, I guess you would say, kind of like merge. It's an invitation to invite in the new. And in Taurus, you're looking at inviting in new timeline energy around your sense of comfort, well-being, finances, and honestly, how you ground into this reality in like a more settled way. We also have a really powerful conjunction between Venus, Saturn, and the North Node happening at the same time that this new moon is happening. So there's a lot of just fated energy in the collective right now. And I'm one of those people who typically, I don't believe a whole lot in fate. I believe in free will choices leading to certain outcomes, but every so often when the North Node is involved, there are things that will happen to you or around you that the exact circumstances might be different in parallel timelines, but with your soul's journey, your soul is meant to have this experience. I want you guys, before I get into the cards and the energy that's coming up around this, I want you guys to really do some contemplation around your relationships, whether they're romantic, business, family, community, even parasocial relationships. I want you to think about the people in your life, because the people in your life, especially those relationships that you're really giving some zhuzh to, that you're kind of like adding logs to the fire, so to speak, those relationships are going to have more of a tremendous impact for you down the line than you can possibly imagine at this point. Like you are laying down the foundation of some significant plot points in your own timeline with the people that are in your life right now. So that's important to consider if you're in relationships that might be a little bit codependent. If you're having doubts about the connectivity or the resonance within your relationships, because again, like the seeds that you are planting right now are going to bear the fruit of your garden in the future timeline. What kind of fruit are you bearing? There's a lot of reality check energy too, with this like Saturn conjunct North Node energy. Like that's making all of the dreams and aspirations and the contemplations and all the imaginal exercises we were doing when Neptune was in those last degrees of Pisces and bringing them down to earth. What do you want? What do you want? No, okay, wait. I heard another creator on TikTok put this even better. What do you know you deserve? What do you know you should have if it's not currently on your timeline? The way that she put it, I can never remember her name. I think it's like Kelsey, maybe. She has red hair and she always gives these really bomb energy updates for like the week. But she's like, this is not an energy where you kind of gently ask for things. This is an energy where you demand, not rudely and not with a sense of antagonism, but you're like, bro, I've earned this. Like you've lived this life this far. Imagine that you're talking to the universe like the universe is your boss and you're like, dude, I am so overdue for a fucking pay raise. I am so overdue for this. Let's go. It's in my contract. I think that's how I want to kind of work with this manifestation energy is like, it is in my contract to have X, Y, and Z. Let's go. Chop, chop. So let's look at what the energy of this new moon might mean for you. What to pay attention to, what to let go of, and what to bring in. Hey, Bryn. Ooh, right as I said what to bring in, I had the Two of Cups. I feel this in my heart center. Some of you guys need to understand how much you deserve love in your life. You deserve it from yourself. I know for a lot of people, that's like a work in progress. It took me a lot of practice to get to that point in my own journey. But a lot of you guys are, I think it's like preconditioning, it could be ancestral inheritance, are kind of just like primed to accept the bare minimum, especially in your romantic relationships. And I'm not telling you to be a demanding partner, but I'm saying that a lot of folks are just like, you'd rather not be lonely than be with somebody who treats you with the dignity, respect, and love that you actually deserve. So, considering how Venus is involved with all the things going on in the sky right now, again, reflect on your relationships. Are you receiving what you deserve? And don't give me the BS of like, oh, well, I don't deserve it. You absolutely do. Some of you are having a very, very hard time walking away from narratives of self negation. Some of you are having a really, really hard time putting down the self judgment, which I understand. Nervous system is a piece of work, man. Like if you have spent a lot of time living through the belief that you're not worthy, you don't deserve X, Y, and Z, or you'll never have X, Y, and Z. It's not, I'm not so feeling sorry for yourself, which can only catch you so far. It is time to step up. Maybe pat your little inner critic on the head, give them a cookie, tell them thank you very much for looking out for me, but I am choosing the timeline where I'm loved by the universe, by myself, and by the people in my life. Where if I were to ask for help, I wouldn't have to tense up. I wouldn't have to second guess whether or not that help would be there. I know people have my back, and I know I have my back. I have to tell you guys, like, just to see how some of these metaphysical practices actually do manifest, I will tell you that when I really, really anchored in this idea of it started with self-compassion, like kind of like showing myself a little bit more grace, giving myself a break because of how my brain is wired, given everything that's happened to me, right? And then that developed into almost like a romance with myself, which I'm currently still very deeply involved in and very much enjoying. The people that show up in my life now are respectful. They treat me with dignity. They respect my boundaries. They're delightful. It's a mirror. Reality is, in fact, a mirror. It's kind of crazy how that works. I'm going to pull some advice cards for y'all. Those of you, especially that are having a hard time letting go of the self-hatred, the self-negation, the self-judgment. You guys, I need to tell you, you choose it because it's familiar. And this is something that, you know, if you ever read The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk, which like I loosely recommend to people because it does give you a pretty cool um, blueprint of why trauma affects the mind the way that it does and the somatics the way that it does. Like it's really cool for the science, the neuroscience in it. I don't love how gruesome he gets, but that's a whole other conversation for another time. You choose what's familiar every time. That's why people stay in abusive relationships. That's why we have such a hard time letting go of codependency. It's why a lot of times, if you were conditioned to not like yourself, whether it was through religious trauma, parental abuse, like whatever it was, it's very, very hard to convince the nervous system that it's okay to give something a shot and maybe try to think differently because the brain it's conditioned to do something a certain way. You're literally like uploading new software, and that takes time. It does take time to do it, and it takes intention and it takes mindfulness and the commitment to yourself to actually get there. It's exhausting. Like I'm not going to lie. Like sometimes, and not always, but like sometimes the healing journey is exhausting because of the amount of energy and the number of spoons it takes to be present with yourself and commit to more objectivity, more neutrality, more compassion, more curiosity, which is a big one. So this sort of feels just like a gentle nudge for a couple of you. Like you don't have to necessarily overhaul your entire everything, but maybe just for today, maybe for the next 2 weeks, as the energy of this new moon continues to fluctuate throughout, or not fluctuate, perpetuate. Is that the word I'm looking for? Throughout the collective, just try once a day being nice to yourself and see what happens. Notice what happens. Notice without judgment, because often, especially in the beginning of one's journey of doing that, if you're conditioned into this self-negation, there's going to be pushback, and you're going to hear. And I always hear it from a certain part of my brain. It's my survival brain, believe it or not. And it's the but what if it's there's always an argument. Still, sometimes to this day, there's an argument about why I'm not allowed to just be like, I'm cool, I'm good, I'm beautiful, I'm smart, I'm funny, I got this. It's okay if I rest, which is a big one for a lot of y'all. Just notice and be like, okay, thanks, Becky. Your opinion is noted. Okay. Um, Look at how these colors are syncing up. I can already feel some of y'all are like, I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm allowed to. I don't know if I deserve it. Why not? Objectively, why not? Why do so many people who are not as kind as you, not as compassionate as you, giving as you, why do you think they deserve to have everything and you fucking don't? It's all conditioning. I had this big conversation on TikTok a couple nights ago about how so many of us have had our kindness and sense of self weaponized against us so that predators can kind of stay at the top of the fucking food chain. You don't have to be nice all the time to people. That's another thing. I think this Mars, Pluto, my throat chakra's starting to go. A lot of you guys don't want to fucking hear this. A lot of you guys don't want to hear this. It's okay. It's okay. You're going to hear it anyway. I mean, you could also not watch this live. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. I'm not going to force you to do anything you don't want to do, but I'm going to keep talking about this. A lot of you guys are tripping over I should have, 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 I should have. Don't let the next 2 weeks be a missed opportunity to love yourself, so that when you look back on this time period in your life, you're like, oh, I guess maybe I should have loved myself a little bit more. Maybe I should have. Maybe I should have tried that. Anything else? You deserve miracles. Um, Try another thing. See, you guys, release. Excuse me. I want you guys to start asking your guides for miracles. Remember how I said today is a great day to manifest, to demand certain things, to assume certain things? I'm going to assume that something was written in my soul contract that is coming to me, and I'm just going to be in a place of gratitude. Thank you. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this promotion. I've been waiting for this raise. I've been waiting for this opportunity. Thank you. But also, you might want to ask a couple of your loved ones in spirit. If you guys have a hard time conceptualizing like the higher self or spirit guides, imagine someone that's in spirit that loved you and that you love, and ask them for a miracle. I've been asking for more magic, like just directly being like, hey, can y'all send me some like glimmers, some like sparkles? Cause like this Mars Pluto opposition is wrecking my fucking 12th house and my 6th house. I've been going through it really since December. Been going through it. And since asking for that magic, it's in spades, like crazy amounts of it. Lots of love. Like, so please, for the next 14 days, once a day, ask somebody up there who you know cares about you. Don't give me the whole nobody cares. Fuck you. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be. I get so frustrated with like the nobody loves me. Yes, they do. Yes, they freaking do. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. I didn't mean to tell you that for yourself. I used to be there, so I think that's me like giving the finger to my former self who gets like so self-pitying. Ask for miracles once a day for 14 days and see what happens. I think that's it. I think that's it. This is a big one. I'm curious to kind of see how this plays out on the world stage. I haven't even looked at the news yet, but they're like, this is big, big heart go boom energy for the entire planet. It's a lot going on. A lot going on with this. Love you guys, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye.